Hi Prepsters, it's Syed Sohail, aka The Prep Guy, and today I'm going to be doing a quick makeup tutorial for men, and it's going to be super natural, and yeah, let's get right into it. So the first product I'm going to be using is the Smashbox, the original Photo Finish primer, and the reason I really enjoyed this primer in particular for my photo shoots is that it smooths and blurs, but it also looks really great with any sort of foundation that you use with it. The only issue that I have with it for everyday usage is that it's super thick, so I only save this for special occasions, special events, and like when I'm doing photo shoots. So I'm just gonna apply this a little bit to my face. So I like concentrating my primer just on the T-zone and spreading outwards. So I put it a little bit down my nose, not a lot, because that could get messy. I like putting it on my cheeks, anywhere I have larger pores and any skin texture. And then I just spread it out. So the next product I'm going to use is the Strobe Cream from MAC Cosmetics, and this one is in Strobe Cream Gold. I have a little sampler as well on me just because I asked for a sample, tried it at home, and then purchased it. So I have whatever's left in that sample carton. I don't want it to go to waste, so I'm gonna just apply this to my face. And what I really like about this product, even though it's an unnecessary step, is that it makes your skin super glowy and it has a nice bounce back. So if you have dark circles, like I do, it provides a little bit of bounce back under your eyes, just making everything look brighter as well. And this is the next step that's super crucial for anyone that has hyperpigmentation, dark circles. Obviously you wouldn't be using my shade, but this is a concealer from Makeup Forever, and as you can see, it is pretty much orange. This is the newest formula, so I used to use it when they had the old packaging, but this is shade 51, and my old shade used to be like R52, if you had the old concealer sets, and it's a color correcting shade. So I'm just gonna apply this underneath my eyes a little bit. And what I really like about the updated formula is that it's self-setting. I literally purchased this like 3 days ago. I was trying to get a replacement. But the one concern I had with the old formula was that it didn't self-set, and with the color corrector, if it doesn't self-set, then you have to go in with your setting powder and then apply your foundation, which can look a little bit cakey. So I'm just gonna apply it to any areas that have hyperpigmentation, and mind you, I do not have a mirror while I'm doing this, so this could end up looking super crazy. Actually, I'll use a mirror on one of my MAC powders. Alright, so I'm going to just blend this out, and I'm using a Sephora concealer brush. And I like using a small amount of product first. It might not look like it because I kind of did accidentally go ham. I wasn't looking. And then just blending it out. And going in sheer layers provides the most natural look. So when you're using a color corrector, for example, if you're my shade, I would go for like a peachy or darker peach. It will cancel out any of the darkness when you apply your foundation, and it will take away any grayness as well. So if I just apply foundation on my skin, any areas that have dark circles will end up looking like ashy or gray. And I have a lot of hyperpigmentation. I asked my dermatologist what happened, and he said actually travel vaccines accelerated it. Like, it was already darker skin is prone to getting hyperpigmentation, but when you take travel vaccines, there's something in them that really accelerate hyperpigmentation. And on top of that, when I traveled and went to Pakistan in 2016, that's when I first got my hyperpigmentation, I wasn't using sunscreen, so that really accelerated it all. So the next product I'm going to use is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Foundation. This guy here is like 75 Canadian dollars, so it is really expensive in my opinion, but it is hands down my favorite foundation. It has a natural finish. It is hydrating without looking too slicky or oily, and it's very thin but very buildable at the same time. So it has very sheer layers, but you could build it up to a full coverage. I wouldn't say it's like a light coverage. I would say it's like a light to medium, and then your second pump would be a medium and your third pump would be a full. I don't really ever go for a full coverage because it can look a lot. And I also go in with powders to build up any coverage where I need it. And also with a concealer. So I'm going to use the back of my hand for this product, and I'm just going to use this mirror just to see where I'm applying the product. And now this product is honestly really pigmented, surprisingly. For something that looks like it's going to be super sheer, it actually does have a lot of color payoff. It's just a little bit deceptive because it is super thin. So you're going to see how it's going to... So I'm just going to use this Real Techniques buffing brush. This was from their Neon Lights collection. I picked this up from Marshall's for like $16 in a whole set. So it was a great deal. And I love me some Marshalls. Alright, so I'm just going to blend out my foundation. And an important tip is do not get it into your hairs because you're going to really be able to see that in any photo shoot. You're going to be able to see that, and it's just not cute. So that's our first layer done, and as you can see a little bit of that color corrector still showing through. So I'm just going to build up some more coverage around that area. So on my cheek, and there we go. And this was actually all just one pump. So as I was saying, like, it's more of a light to medium, but I'll say it's even more than that. And any of the leftover products, I usually do apply it to my ear, but I want to film another video with my sister, and I plan on taking off the sweater. And if I don't do that, if I apply the foundation all over my ears, my sweater will be covered in foundation. So the reason I like doing that is because when you're wearing a little bit of a warmer shade foundation, like I prefer to do, it shows that there's a discrepancy between your ear and your face, which can look a little bit crazy, especially if you're trying to go for a natural look. And in photography, it's just more editing, so it's not fun for anyone. We edit our own blog photos, so I mean, it's just more of a hassle for us. Alright, so this product right here is the Too Faced Born This Way Concealer, and this is going to be probably one of my favorite concealer products. I used to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and that was nice, but with this one you get a little bit more coverage, a lot more product. You're getting twice the amount of product for the exact same price, and I kind of like this formula a little bit more too. And I'm in the shade Warm Sand, and in Luminous Silk I am 8.75, for anyone that's wondering. If you happen to be of my complexion. So I'm just gonna apply this concealer really gently. I'm just gonna do a couple of dots because this is very full coverage. And we could always build up, but it's kind of difficult to build down. And I like putting a little bit of product on my forehead to give it a little bit of a highlight, and then just on the bridge of my nose, and down my nose a little bit. Alright, so we're going to use my concealer brush once again, and we're just going to blend this out. And I like blending it out into a downwards triangle, or upside down triangle, like that. So you create a little V with the product first, and then you just blend it out into those areas. And that's going to just give you the perfect guideline for creating a perfect highlighted under eye. Without taking the product too far. And I always go in with a buffing brush after I conceal with this brush, just because it is a little bit streaky, but this is like the best product for concealer, brush for concealer regardless, just because it really does keep the product concentrated, without going all over the place. And it's actually not a bad brush in general for like dispersing the product. I think just sometimes it looks a little bit streaky. So I like going over it with the buffing brush, and everything ends up looking super natural. So you're gonna be like, oh my god, like this is a lot of foundation or a lot of product. Realistically, we've done one pump of foundation and we've done a little bit of color corrector and a little bit of concealer. So it wasn't a lot of product so far, but we are going to make sure that it does look super natural in general. And that is achieved by just blending like no tomorrow. So I like using a stippling motion, which is just like tapping onto your face. And buff this out. Alright. And that's our foundation and concealer done. So now we're going to move on to our powder products. I try to combine in a drugstore product because everything else was kind of high end. So I am using the NYX HD finishing powder, and this is a pressed powder. I've used this a couple of times and I think it does a really good job. This is a mint green, and I'm going to quickly set my under eyes so that way I do not get any wrinkling in my concealer. And I'm also just going to go over my forehead a little bit. The rest of the areas I'm going to actually keep untouched because I'm going to use powders to contour and highlight. So I'm going to use the shade Dark Golden from MAC, and this is a Mineralize Skin Finish Powders. These are really great powders. Just for building up a little bit of extra coverage. You can use them as a really natural way to bronze or contour, and I personally like doing that. I like using these. Typically when I am doing a photo shoot and I need a little bit more coverage, like I can make it look super natural, but sometimes I like looking super contoured. I'll use like a cream contour and really build up the product with this on top. So I'm using this just as a way to add a little bit of bronzing and contouring to my skin. It's literally supposed to be like half a shade darker than my foundation. So it's gonna look very, 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 very natural. Like you're not really gonna see too much of a contour being built up. And what I like about this product is if you are a guy and you have a shorter beard, it's not really going to show on your beard. It doesn't really stick onto your beard. But if you have a longer beard, I'll be worried. I'll stick away from any powder products because that could get messy. Or you could use a makeup remover right after you are finished applying and only go over your bearded areas. And that's a great tip that I learned from a makeup artist. And to buff it in. Alright, so I think I forgot to mention how to pick out the areas where you're going to contour. So if you do not have any facial hair, have no fear. You're going to literally just do a 3. So what I like to do is suck in my cheeks a little bit and go downwards into a 3, and then you go on your jawline and under your chin. So that's gonna be like the perfect contour, but I have a little bit of facial hair right now, so that is super unnecessary. I'm not going to shave for you guys. And I'm just gonna actually build up some product over on my forehead. I like my forehead looking very contoured. I do have a really big forehead. Alright. And there we go. So the next product I'm going to use is actually going to highlight my under eyes, and this is also a Mineralize Skin Finish Powder by MAC in medium golden. So the other one was medium dark, and this one is medium golden. Or that was dark golden, and this is medium golden. And we're gonna apply this anywhere we added that concealer just to brighten it a little bit. And it's literally one shade lighter, so what it's going to do is really amplify that highlight and contour, even though we're using shades that are super close to our foundation shade already. On my forehead, and a little bit just on the tip of the nose and down the nose. My absolute favorite. It is just like it's not very fluffy, it's a little bit, but it's not crazy dense either. And I'm going to go back into the shade that was just a shade darker than my skin, so dark golden. And we are just going to apply this to the bottom of my nose. And just down the side. The closer that you get it to the upper part of your nose, the slimmer your nose is going to look. So I'm just doing a trace out before I really blend it outwards. Alright, and now I like taking it higher as well because it makes your nose look a little bit slimmer. So we're just going to take it all the way up there. And now we're going to blend it. And you're probably concerned about all this powder product that we're using because typically that's not very natural looking. But we are going to use a crazy amount of setting spray. And I promise you it's going to look super natural, super healthy, and super beautiful. Alright, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of this onto my eyelids as well just to color correct. Good. Go. Alright, so that was pretty easy, and alright, and the final step is going to be doing my brows. Now, I'm going to look absolutely crazy because I'm far away from any mirror besides these little ones. So I'm going to try my best to not look insane. So we're just going to trace out my eyebrows. And I like using the L'Oreal one, as I mentioned in my previous video. And I like starting off only at the bottom and blending upwards. We don't need a lot of fillage. We just need to shape it out a little bit. And like I said, my eyebrows are very thin in general. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more product there.
We're going to brush upwards. That's why I like starting at the bottom, is that you can brush upwards, and then that way you can control the amount of product that's being used. But if you already start at the top, you can't really brush downwards naturally, so it's going to look all sorts of crazy. Right, so we're going to just go in with another line at the bottom now. And brush upwards one last time.
Alright, so hopefully that looks okay. I couldn't really see what I did there, but usually it looks really good, so forgive me if that doesn't look good. And the final step here is going to be using a setting spray. Now this is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I get the extra large size just because it is cheaper than buying two smaller ones, and I go through these quite quickly, as you'll see. Woo! Alright, so the reason I really go ham with it is because I really like working with powder products, and that adds a little bit more dimension than using a lot of cream products, and it's easier to control too. And this is going to get rid of any of that powdery finish, and it's just going to make it all melt together and look super skin-like. It's going to be a little bit wet for a minute because I really did spray a lot of product. But it's going to look bomb.com, and by the time we get to our photo shoot, it's going to be perfect. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys found this video to be informative. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment below with any more questions that you may have. If there are any products that you would like me to recommend, try out, review, I got you guys covered, okay? And be sure to follow myself on all social media, including Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, @ThePrepGuy. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.